The story of 5-year-old Lina Medina, the youngest mother in the world. In 1939, a healthy young girl named Lina Medina gave birth to an equally healthy baby boy. The only noteworthy detail about this event was the mother's age. She was 5 years old. The picture we are seeing now is young Lina Medina with her son. In the early spring of 1939, a worried family from a village in Peru took their 5-year-old daughter to a doctor in faraway Lima. The girl's belly had been growing for several months, and her mother was afraid she might have a tumor. To their shock and dismay, the doctor diagnosed their daughter, Lina Medina, as being 7 months pregnant. 6 weeks later, Lina Medina became, at the age of 5 years and 7 months, the youngest mother known to have given birth. Her case took pediatricians of the time by surprise, and the matter has been the subject of speculation ever since. Medina never revealed who the father was, and to this day, she and her family shun publicity from the outside world. A case of precocious puberty. Lina Medina's condition certainly came as a surprise to everybody who studied the case. But among pediatric endocrinologists, it was entirely unthinkable. About 1 in every 10,000 children develop a condition known as precocious puberty, in which the child's body reaches sexual maturity before age 8. Roughly 10 times more girls than boys develop this way, and there is reason to suspect that it might be accelerated by sexual contact at an early age. Later analysis strongly suggests that Medina may have reached menarche as early as 8 months after birth. Those other reports claim that she had been having regular menstrual periods from the age of 3 years. Examination of 5-year-old Medina showed that she had developed breasts wider than normal hips and advanced bone growth. To all appearances, at the time that Lina Medina got pregnant, right around her 50th birthday, her body was that of a very petite, immature woman. Precocious puberty is a good proximate explanation for Lina Medina's pregnancy, but obviously it doesn't explain everything. Getting a period at 3 is a necessary but not sufficient condition for getting pregnant at 5. Somebody, in other words, had to get her pregnant, and given the 100,000 to 1 odds against it, that person probably wasn't a precociously pubescent 5-year-old boy. Medina herself never told the doctors or the authorities who the father was, though her own father, a silversmith named Tiburello, was briefly arrested for suspected child rape. He was eventually released and charges against him dropped. However, when he strenuously denied having had sex with his own daughter, and no evidence or witness statements could be found to hold him. In an article about the case published in an October 1955 wire service, Arthur Louis Leon reported that many of the remote Indian villages of Peru hold religious festivals throughout the year and still maintain a strong pre-Christian atmosphere, and frequently develop into group sex and sometimes rape. It is not unheard of for children to be present at, or at least not far from, these revelries. In the absence of a confession or other facts about Lina Medina's case, including her own observed difficulty in giving clear statements, this provides a plausible, if not exactly proven, potential source for the sexual intercourse that had to happen for her to get pregnant. Once Lina Medina's condition became generally known, it caused sensation all over the world. Newspapers in Peru unsuccessfully offered the Medina family thousands of dollars for the right to interview and film their daughter. Newspapers in the United States, then as now desperate for readership, had a similar field day, reporting on the anomaly and hinting at the salacious details in every paragraph. Again, offers were made to pay the family and to bring the family to the United States for what amounted to a freak show, though it certainly wasn't called that, and again all offers were refused. Lina Medina's later life after becoming the world's youngest mother. Lina Medina seems to have gotten good medical care, especially for the time and place in which she lived, and gave birth to a healthy 6-pound baby boy who appeared to have made it to a full term on May 14, 1939. The child was named Gerardo after the doctor who first examined Medina. The infant went to the family village of Ticrapo when he was released from the hospital. Gerardo grew up thinking that Medina was his older sister and only found out the truth when he was a teenager. Interviewed for the 1955 profile on his and his mother's life, Gerardo claimed that he wanted to be a doctor when he grew up. Despite having no known defects or other health issues, Gerardo died relatively young at age 40 in 1979 of natural causes. Aside from her record-breaking status as a mother, Medina went on to live an ordinary life in Peru. In her young adulthood, she found work as a secretary for the doctor who attended the birth, which paid her way through school. At roughly the same time, Medina managed to put Gerardo through school as well. She married a man named Raul sometimes in the early 1970s and gave birth to her second child in 1972, aged 39. Medina and Raul were not wealthy people, and as of the last that the outside world heard of either of them in 2002. The couple was still married and living in a poor neighborhood in Lima known as Chicago Chico. Given her lifelong attitude toward publicity and the prying eyes of curious outsiders, it may be for the best that nobody now seems to know where exactly Lina Medina lives, or what she, her husband, or her youngest child are up to these days.